The theme of this year's LGBT plus History Month is "The Arc is Long." It's inspired by a Martin Luther King quote, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." The quote's thought to mean that although it's taking a long time, we are moving towards social justice and fairness. And that was the conversation starter when Birmingham City Councillor John Cotton met up with JP Kesseler, who was the victim of the homophobic attack last year.
Hi JP, I'm Councillor John Cotton from Birmingham City Council.
Nice to meet you, John. Thanks for talking to us today.
So JP, you had a pretty awful experience a few months ago.
Yep.
You were a victim of an attack which shocked many people in Birmingham, frankly. Do you just want to tell us a bit about what happened?
Yeah, sure. So I'd been on a night out at the village. I met up with a lad that I've known for about 10 years or so. We were holding hands, walking back through past the pagoda. Saw a gentleman who took exception to us holding hands. Words were exchanged, and that ended up with me getting him around the head with a bottle and then a tap with a pole, being left bloodied as he drove away.
And I'm hoping you're feeling fully recovered from what must have been a pretty awful experience.
Physically, yes. Mentally, not even close.
What do you think that we can do to be better allies to the LGBTQ plus community in this city and indeed in the country?
It's a really difficult question to answer because it's going to be different for different people. Some people won't feel comfortable being there personally, but what you can do is if you see something, you say something. If you don't necessarily have to jump in 2 feet like full force, but you can be there, you can listen. But speak up. If you hear homophobia, say something. If someone that you know is casually homophobic or overtly homophobic or transphobic, say something to them. Don't just let it pass because you know them or a friend, and it doesn't really matter. It matters. Since what happened to me, what measures have been put in place?
So there's two broad things that we've been doing. One has been around improving security and safety here in the gay village in the heart of the city centre. So that's partly been about ensuring there's more police presence, but also some security measures that we've sought to put in place. So we've been improving street lighting, and we're also looking to expand CCTV coverage because it's clear there are 1 or 2 areas where we hadn't got sufficient coverage and weren't able to pick up incidents. And as you say, being able to capture incidents, record incidents is very, very important. So I think the power of leadership is really important here. So it's about organisations like the council actually being bold in saying this is not tolerated. That when we see incidents of hate directed against the community, we absolutely call it out, and that there are consequences for those who perpetrate such actions. So yeah, we've made some great strides forward, but there's so much more that we still need to do here in Birmingham and indeed across the country, and everyone's got a responsibility, I think, to make that happen. So after that awful experience that you had, what was the response like from the community here in Birmingham?
It was a real kind of strength of support in the couple of weeks after, because you don't know how to deal with things, you don't know how you're going to process things or how you feel from a day-to-day basis, but it really kind of like pushed me up. It was great to see you there, it was great to see Alex Aiken there, it was great to see a bunch of different people making themselves known that they weren't going to put up with that anymore, they weren't going to just be silent about it and just be meekly kind of, okay, this is something which happened, because it's not something which should happen.
I've lived and worked in Brum for 20 years and I'm a massive fan of our city. It's an amazing place, and I always talk about how fantastic it is, and anything good that takes place in Brum, I like to shine a light on it. And when the attack happened, I was angry and shocked and just appalled really, and I thought I can't shine a light on the good stuff and embrace the brilliant stuff unless I also stand up for the stuff that isn't right and the stuff that has no place in Brum. And it was a bit out of my comfort zone, if I'm honest. I don't normally do that, but it was just such a horrific thing that happened. I felt compelled to get involved, so I talked about it. I explained how appalling I thought it was, how awful I thought it was, how it had no place in Brum, and that just developed into a bit of a campaign where a lot of people also got involved and on board and said the same thing. I was heartened by the reaction, because when it first happened, what shocked me the most and what upset me the most was people going, oh, that's Brum, and it isn't Brum. It absolutely is not Brum. It's a small minority of idiots in our city who did that. And actually what I loved about it was so many people came out and went, you're right, it's not our city, it's not what we stand for, and it has no place. And that for me was the best thing to come out of it.